The enduring legacy of the White Fence Gang in Los Angeles. Introduction. The White Fence Gang, also known as Barrio White Fence, is one of the oldest and most notorious Mexican-American street gangs in Los Angeles. Originating in the Boyle Heights neighborhood, the gang's history is deeply intertwined with the social, economic, and racial dynamics of the region. From its beginnings as a community sports team in the early 1900s to becoming a powerful criminal organization, White Fence has played a significant role in shaping the gang culture of Los Angeles. This story explores the history, structure, and influence of White Fence, shedding light on its enduring presence in the city. Origins and evolution. White Fence traces its roots back to the early 20th century when it began as a sports team associated with La Purísima Church in Boyle Heights. Initially known as the La Purísima Crowd, the group eventually adopted the name White Fence, inspired by the white picket fence surrounding the church. This symbol became a metaphorical barrier during a time of racial tension, marking a division between the white and Hispanic communities in the area. Throughout the 1930s and 1940s, White Fence evolved from a local group into a fully fledged street gang. The influx of Mexican immigrants into Boyle Heights during this period, coupled with the rise of the Pachuca subculture, contributed to the gang's growth. White Fence became known for its fierce rivalries with other barrios' neighborhood gangs, including Primera Flats, Barrio Nuevo Estrada, and El Hoyo Maravilla. These rivalries often led to violent confrontations, establishing White Fence's reputation as one of the most feared gangs in East Los Angeles. White Fence members socialized at the Jewel Theater on Whittier Boulevard near Indiana Street, but by the 1960s, the theater was closed. Gang structure and influence. White Fence's influence is not only limited to its criminal activities but also extends to its organizational structure, which includes various cliques or subgroups. These cliques allow the gang to maintain a broad and flexible network across different regions. In Boyle Heights, the East Side White Fence Gang is composed of several cliques, including the Tiny Locos TLS, the Whole Locos THLS, Spiders SPS, Pee-wees, Cherries, Monstro Monster, Lil Spiders, CDK, Mallows MLS, and the Alley Locos. Each of these cliques operates semi-independently but remains loyal to the overarching White Fence organization, contributing to its resilience and adaptability. On the west side, White Fence has a smaller presence, with a notable clique known as LCS. This westward expansion illustrates the gang's ability to extend its influence beyond its traditional stronghold in Boyle Heights, further entrenching its presence in the Los Angeles gang scene. Criminal activities and influence. By the 1950s and 1960s, White Fence had cemented its status as a dominant force in the Los Angeles gang landscape. It was one of the first gangs in the area to use firearms, which escalated the violence associated with its operations. The gang expanded its influence beyond Boyle Heights, with members and activities reported in cities like Las Vegas, El Paso, and even Central America. White Fence's criminal activities included drug trafficking, extortion, and various other violent crimes, making it a significant player in the region's organized crime scene. The gang's structure is hierarchical, with leadership positions held by senior members who oversee operations and enforce rules. Prospective members must undergo an initiation process that often involves committing crimes to prove their loyalty. This structure has allowed White Fence to maintain a strong and cohesive organization, despite numerous attempts by law enforcement to dismantle it. White Fence played a pivotal role in the emergence of the Mexican Mafia, or La Mafia, a formidable prison gang dominating California's drug trade. Early White Fence members like Ernest Kilroy Roybal, who was among the first recruits in La Mafia around 1961 or 1962, helped cement the gang's power both on the streets and within the prison system. Following Kilroy, other notable White Fence members such as Gilbert Lil Mo Ruiz and Daniel Black Dan Barella joined La Mafia, further strengthening its influence. The ranks of White Fence also included prominent figures like Oso, Wacky, Popeye, Rascal, and Vago, each contributing to the gang's growing dominance and notoriety. Notable members from Barrio White Fence. Ernest Kilroy Roybal. From gang member to devout Christian, Ernest Kilroy Roybal's life is a compelling story of transformation. Born on March 3, 1939, in the Boyle Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles, Kilroy's journey from a notorious gang member to a devout Christian is both profound and complex. His early years were marked by violence and crime, but his later years saw a dramatic shift toward redemption and faith. This story delves into Kilroy's life, highlighting his involvement in the White Fence Gang and the Mexican Mafia, and ultimately his transition to a life of faith and ministry. Early life and gang involvement. Kilroy's early life was tumultuous. His rebellious nature was evident from a young age, famously stealing his father's car at just 4 years old. This behavior set the tone for his later involvement in gang culture. By the early 1950s, Kilroy had become a member of Barrio White Fence, a prominent gang in Boyle Heights. Despite being a gifted athlete who excelled in boxing, the allure of the streets proved too strong, leading him deeper into gang life. He chose the path of crime over potential careers in sports, turning to the sale of heroin to gain status and financial gain within the gang community. Rise within the Mexican Mafia. Kilroy's criminal activities eventually led to multiple arrests, and he was incarcerated in several prisons, including San Quentin. It was here, in the late 1950s, that Kilroy became one of the founding members of the Mexican Mafia, also known as La Mafia. The Mexican Mafia was established as a way for incarcerated Mexican-American inmates to exert control over their environment and protect their interests against rival gangs. Kilroy quickly rose to prominence within the organization, becoming a shot caller and one of its senior members. His influence helped shape the Mexican Mafia into one of the most powerful and feared prison gangs in the United States. Prison life and transformation. Kilroy spent nearly 40 years in prison, moving through facilities such as Folsom, Tracy, San Quentin, and Pelican Bay. His time behind bars solidified his reputation as a dangerous and influential figure, but it also exposed him to the harsh realities of the life he had chosen. In solitary confinement at Pelican Bay in 1993, Kilroy experienced a profound transformation. Faced with the weight of his past actions and the emptiness of his violent lifestyle, he decided to renounce his criminal past. Embracing faith and evangelism. Upon his release from Pelican Bay's security housing unit SHU in 1993, at the age of 54, Kilroy walked away from his high-ranking position in the Mexican Mafia. He turned his life to God, becoming a devout Christian and dedicating himself to evangelism. Despite skepticism from many who doubted the sincerity of his conversion, Kilroy remained steadfast in his new path. He became extremely active in ministry work, often visiting prisons to speak to inmates about the gospel, a stark contrast to his previous life of crime and violence. Kilroy's transformation was remarkable not only because he left the Mexican Mafia without debriefing or becoming an informant, but also because of his commitment to his faith. In 2006, he survived a near-fatal trucking accident that left him with permanent physical damage, yet he continued his ministry work undeterred. His story gained attention through various media outlets, and he participated in a rare video interview in 2014, where he discussed his early life, his rise within the Mexican Mafia, and his transition into ministry. Legacy and impact. Kilroy's life serves as a powerful testament to the possibility of redemption. His journey from a violent gang member to a devout Christian and evangelist is a story of hope and transformation. In December 2020, Kilroy planned a second interview to further share his story, but due to concerns about COVID-19, he decided to postpone it. Tragically, he contracted the virus and passed away on January 7, 2021, at the age of 81. Kilroy's legacy is one of profound change. His story, which is set to be highlighted in the upcoming documentary The Kilroy Roybal Story, underscores the impact of faith and the potential for personal transformation. From his early days in the White Fence Gang to his rise within the Mexican Mafia, and finally, his embrace of Christianity, Kilroy's life encapsulates the dramatic arc of redemption. Lastly, Ernest Kilroy Roybal's life is a remarkable narrative of transformation. His journey from a life of crime and violence within the White Fence Gang and the Mexican Mafia to a devout Christian dedicated to ministry work is a testament to the power of redemption. Kilroy's story continues to inspire those who seek to understand the complexities of gang culture and the potential for change. His legacy serves as a reminder that no matter how dark one's past may be, there is always the possibility of finding light and purpose through faith. Daniel Black Dan Barella. a figure of influence in the Mexican Mafia and White Fence Gang. Daniel "Black Dan" Barella stands as a formidable figure within the annals of organized crime in California. His rise within the Mexican Mafia, or La Mafia, and his roots in the White Fence Gang, one of East Los Angeles' most notorious street gangs, mark him as a key player in the intricate web of gang culture and criminal enterprise that has long plagued the region. Background and early associations. Barella's journey into the underworld began with his involvement in the White Fence Gang. Established in the 1930s, White Fence is one of Los Angeles' oldest and most influential street gangs, known for its violent reputation and extensive criminal activities, including drug trafficking, extortion, and various other violent crimes. It was within this environment that Barella honed his skills and forged the connections that would later facilitate his rise within the ranks of La Mafia. The White Fence Gang has historically served as a recruitment ground for the Mexican Mafia, and Barella's progression from a street gang member to a significant figure in La Mafia underscores the symbiotic relationship between local street gangs and larger prison-based organizations. His violent tendencies and ruthless approach to enforcing gang policies made him a natural fit for the Mexican Mafia, where he quickly gained a reputation for his unwavering loyalty and readiness to resort to violence. Connection to the Mexican Mafia. Barella's association with the Mexican Mafia is emblematic of the complex dynamics between California's street gangs and prison gangs. La Mafia was originally formed by inmates in California's prison system as a means to protect their interests and assert control over other gangs. Members like Barella, who demonstrate a willingness to engage in extreme violence, often ascend through the ranks by enforcing the gang's rules both inside and outside the prison walls. Barella became known for his strict enforcement of Mafia policies, which included extorting local street gangs, orchestrating drug distribution networks, and directing violent acts against rivals or those who challenged the gang's authority. His actions significantly contributed to the Mexican Mafia's dominance within Los Angeles County, establishing him as a key enforcer and a vital cog in the organization's criminal operations. Criminal activities and legal consequences. Throughout his criminal career, Barella was implicated in numerous illegal activities, reflecting the deep entrenchment of gang violence in Los Angeles. His criminal record is extensive, with convictions ranging from conspiracy to commit murder, to drug trafficking, and violent assaults against rival gang members. His involvement in these activities culminated in a high-profile trial where he, along with several other members of the Mexican Mafia, was convicted under the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations RICO Act. Barella's criminal activities were not confined to the streets of Los Angeles but extended into California's prison system, where he wielded significant influence. His ability to operate within both street and prison environments highlights the pervasive reach of the Mexican Mafia and the challenges faced by law enforcement in dismantling such networks. Impact and legacy. The conviction of Daniel "Black Dan" Barella represents a significant victory for law enforcement in their ongoing battle against organized crime. His removal from the streets is seen as a crucial step toward weakening the Mexican Mafia's grip on Los Angeles. However, experts caution that while the incarceration of key figures like Barella is essential, these organizations often adapt by promoting new leaders or restructuring their operations, perpetuating the cycle of violence and criminal activity. Barella's story is a testament to the enduring influence of street gangs like White Fence in feeding into larger criminal syndicates like the Mexican Mafia. His rise and fall reflect the broader narrative of gang culture in Los Angeles, where loyalty, violence, and control are paramount, and where individual ambition often intertwines with the collective power of organized crime. In the end, Daniel "Black Dan" Barella's life and criminal career serve as a stark reminder of the ongoing challenges faced by law enforcement in combating gang violence and drug trafficking. His involvement with both the White Fence Gang and the Mexican Mafia underscores the deep connections between local street gangs and larger organized crime networks, illustrating the complexities of dismantling such entrenched systems of violence and control. Gilbert Lil Mo Ruiz. A tale of loyalty and violence. Gilbert Lil Mo Ruiz was not the typical image of a hardened gangster. At 5'7" and 135 pounds, with acne-scarred skin, beady brown eyes, thick black hair, and a pencil-thin mustache, he hardly looked the part. But appearances can be deceiving, especially in the world of East LA street gangs. Lil Mo was a member of the notorious White Fence Gang, a young man who, despite his small stature and youthful appearance, quickly earned a reputation for being fiercely loyal and brutally violent. When Enriquez, also known as Boxer, first encountered Lil Mo in Folsom Prison 5 years earlier, he immediately saw potential in the young gang member. At just 16, Lil Mo was already locked up for a series of robberies, walking the prison yard with oversized denim pants pulled up to his chest, mad dogging much larger, more dangerous convicts. Boxer recognized something in him, a raw, unrefined potential for the criminal underworld. When Boxer told him, "I'm going to take over your neighborhood when I get out of prison," Lil Mo agreed to help without hesitation. This marked the beginning of their partnership. Lil Mo wasn't the brightest, earning the nickname the brainstem from Boxer due to his lack of intelligence. But what he lacked in brains, he more than made up for in loyalty. When Boxer ran into him on the streets of East LA, he quickly recruited Lil Mo to be part of his crew. The crew included 2 other members, Anthony Chino Avilés, a 26-year-old White Fence Gang member with a background in the military, and Luis Rockin' Lou Lopez, a wild and unpredictable soldado from the Jardin Gang. Their operations were always high risk, high reward. Lil Mo, with his trusty .12 gauge Mossberg shotgun, would often take the most dangerous role in their heists, crashing through windows and taking control of the situation with an intimidating display of force. One such robbery involved a family caught off guard in the middle of the night. Lil Mo led the charge, his shotgun ready, as he demanded to know where the drugs were hidden. When the son of the family appeared to be reaching for a weapon, Lil Mo didn't hesitate. He kicked him in the head and threatened to kill him if the mother didn't hand over the stash. The fear he instilled was palpable, and eventually, the mother revealed the hidden drugs. The crew celebrated their successful robbery by indulging in speedballs, a mixture of cocaine and heroin. But the night took a dark turn when Rockin' Lou, high and paranoid, held another gang member at knife point, convinced that the crew was plotting against him. Such was the chaotic and dangerous life they led, where even a minor misunderstanding could turn deadly in an instant. Lil Mo's loyalty to Boxer and the crew was unwavering, but it was this same loyalty that often put him in dangerous situations. One such incident involved Big John from Artesia, a major cocaine connection who refused to pay his dues to the Mexican Mafia. Boxer, not wanting to beat his old friend, tried to maintain the facade of friendship during a robbery at Big John's house, while Lil Mo and Chino took control of the situation. When Big John's girlfriend tried to shoot Chino, it was Lil Mo who helped disarm her, ensuring that the crew could make their escape with a large bag of cocaine and cash. Lil Mo's role in these operations was crucial, yet he was often overshadowed by more cunning and calculating members of the crew. His lack of intelligence made him an easy target for manipulation, and his violent tendencies were both his greatest asset and his downfall. This was evident in the incident with Joseph El Flood, a drug dealer who had stolen from Boxer. When Boxer confronted El Flood, it was Lil Mo who jumped into the fray, helping to subdue the much larger man in a brutal, frenzied attack. The violence was relentless, and it was only when Boxer's brother, John, handed him a gun that El Flood finally relented and signed over his Cadillac as payment. Despite his violent nature, Lil Mo had a soft spot for his sister, Rosie Ruiz, who had served time for smuggling drugs into county jail for Boxer. Their relationship was complicated, and when Boxer divorced Rosie, it created tension between him and Lil Mo. However, their bond as carnales brothers in the Mexican Mafia kept them united, at least for a time. As Lil Mo's reputation grew, so did the dangers he faced. His involvement in the Mexican Mafia, or La Mafia, meant that he was constantly under threat, both from rival gang members and from within his organization. When Boxer sponsored Lil Mo for membership in La Mafia, it was both a blessing and a curse. While it gave Lil Mo a sense of power and belonging, it also made him a target. Eventually, Lil Mo's luck ran out. He was stabbed by his cellmate, Mafia member Lalo Martinez, in a dispute over a planned murder. The Cuadra camp, who opposed the delay in the hit, saw Lil Mo's actions as backing up a rat, which in their eyes was unforgivable. In his desperation, Lil Mo screamed that he had AIDS, hoping it would deter his attacker. While the ruse momentarily worked, it marked him as a coward in the eyes of other mobsters. Boxer tried to save Lil Mo, but by then, it was too late. Lil Mo's days were numbered, and his once loyal comrades began to distance themselves from him. When Boxer was transferred to Pelican Bay State Prison, Lil Mo followed, but their relationship had changed. The 6 months they spent together in the SHU Special Housing Unit revealed the growing rift between them. Boxer, tired of Lil Mo's unhygienic habits and the resentment that lingered over the divorce, eventually requested a new cellmate. In the world of the Mexican Mafia, loyalty is everything, but even the most loyal soldiers can fall from grace. Lil Mo's story is a tragic one of a young man who, despite his loyalty and willingness to do whatever was asked of him, ultimately became a victim of the very world he had devoted his life to. His fate was sealed not by his enemies, but by his own comrades, who saw his actions as unforgivable. Lil Mo Ruiz, once a feared and respected member of the Mexican Mafia, ended his days as a cautionary tale, a reminder that in the brutal, unforgiving world of gang life, no one is safe, and loyalty can be both a virtue and a curse. Challenges and modern-day presence. Over the decades, White Fence has faced significant pressure from law enforcement. In 2006, the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office filed a civil injunction against the gang, labeling it a public nuisance and aiming to curtail its activities in Boyle Heights. However, despite these efforts, White Fence remains a formidable presence in the area. The gang's ability to adapt to changing circumstances, coupled with its deep-rooted connections in the community, has allowed it to persist even in the face of gentrification and increased police scrutiny. Today, Boyle Heights is undergoing significant changes, with new developments and rising rents transforming the neighborhood. Yet, the legacy of White Fence endures, serving as a reminder of the complex social issues that have shaped Los Angeles for generations. The gang's history of violence, rivalry, and criminal enterprise continues to pose challenges for local authorities and underscores the ongoing struggle to address gang-related crime in the city. Conclusion. The White Fence Gang represents a significant and enduring aspect of Los Angeles gang culture. Its origins in Boyle Heights, its evolution into a powerful criminal organization, and its continued presence in the city highlight the complexities of addressing gang violence and criminal activity. Understanding the history and dynamics of White Fence is crucial for developing effective strategies to combat gang influence and ensure the safety of communities affected by their activities. As Los Angeles continues to change, the legacy of White Fence serves as a stark reminder of the challenges that remain in the fight against organized crime.